Hello, hello, guys. Welcome back to another episode of Bravo We're Black. I'm Aaron. Kaya is not with us today. We're still sending her so much love, and we cannot wait till she gets back. In the meantime, I have the bad boy of podcasting himself, Ryan Bailey, with me. And I'm so
Hello.
excited to talk. We're going to talk about a whole bunch of stuff. We're going to talk about Love Island, get his thoughts on Housewives of Atlanta because he has an episode coming out next week centered around Housewives of Atlanta. And then the thoughts on the Doomsday trailer that was just released this week. And we're excited to chat and talk about it. What's going on, Ryan?
Not much. San Diego Comic Con is this week, and you
Yes.
were just at Comic Con. And I used to go to San Diego Comic Con all the time, like 15 years ago, and it was the blast. How was your experience at Comic Con?
So this one was the SuperCon. I know the
SuperCon.
DreamCon is like the biggest one that they have, I believe. But
Yeah.
SuperCon was pretty big too. I had a ball. We seen the cast of Daredevil, Born Again,
Wow.
Josie and the Pussycat.
The movie?
Yeah, the movie, the cast. The cast
Wow.
was there.
Geez.
Everybody was there.
God, I used to I miss those days. Like they just you feel like a kid again going to those
Yeah.
things, and it's just so much fun.
It was, and dressing up was fun too. I did a Cyclops cosplay from X-Men, and then next year I think I want to do a bunch of stuff. Like I don't know, I was supposed to be a Jedi, but that didn't work out.
Did you see the Cyclops glasses they're selling now?
Yeah,
They're like
and
$100.
they're $100, and the ones that I got were from Amazon, so I didn't get the nice ones that everybody else had. I got like the mediocre ones, but
No, I was like, God, thank God I have a kid now, because if
yeah.
not, I would just keep buying crap like that, because I was like, oh my God, I need these Cyclops glasses. And I was like, where are you ever going to wear these Cyclops glasses? But they look so cool.
They do. And you know what really triggers me though? The fact that the kids' costumes, and I know that's how it always is, but they're so cheap and so nice. They have so many options for kids. And then when you look for adults, it's like nothing.
Well, in adults, they really overcharge you. They know, like,
Yeah.
adults, you'll spend the money. So, like, kids' costumes are cool. And when I grew up, they had these things called underoos, where it would be like Superman underwear and Batman, and you had like a little Batman shirt. And I remember as a kid getting these, and like, I would just play around like I was that actual superhero, depending on the underoos I was wearing.
See, I've never seen that.
I mean, I'm much older than you, so it was like I think it was like a very specific time and place. But I wish they would sell underoos for adults. Like I mean, it'd still be awesome to have like Batman underoos.
You said you're much older than me.
I'm sure probably I'm like 80 years old, so yeah.
I'm like 100. So,
Okay, never mind. I forgot you're a vampire. Yeah.
right. So, I mean, come on. But yeah, I wish they had the adult version of that. Um, so I could, well, maybe not because I can't wear underwear as a
But
guy.
that's why those conventions are so amazing, because it's so many adults loving the same thing. And it's like our obsession with like Bravo and Housewives and reality TV. It's all different fan bases. And I think there's a good deal of crossover. I think fandoms usually generally appreciate other fandoms.
You know what? With that being said, I feel like we should have a Comic Con for Bravo where we
Oh, I mean,
dress
well,
up as,
it's kind of BravoCon in a sense. I just
yeah,
feel like it'll be interesting to see how BravoCon grows, and if there's ever any spin-offs of BravoCon. If
yeah.
like there's like an Atlanta chapter, or a Rhode Island chapter or something.
Well, I think so because the next BravoCon, I believe they're not having one for this year. It's gonna probably be an event like a 1 day,
In Charleston.
yeah, in Charleston.
Yeah, Bravo
Um,
Fan Fest, which I think is already sold out, which, it's like I don't think, I didn't get a ticket to that, but I would love to go, but I think the next one is going to be in 2027 for the Vegas BravoCon.
the Vegas one. They're taking us back to Vegas.
Yeah, I think they have a contract with Vegas, and I think they're really happy with how the last two went there.
I definitely thought it was gonna be New York again, but it makes sense because that was a pretty big space. I didn't go to the one in New York, Kaya did, but from what I've seen, this space is a lot bigger
It's a
in
lot bigger,
Vegas.
and I mean, it really is. It's insanity, but I mean, with New York, I mean, that was a great one too. I mean, I didn't get to go to the first one, but I went to the second one in New York. And I remember Kea there. Like I remember we were at the Direct TV party and we watched Kathy Hilton do a conga line. It was like the night before BravoCon started, and it was pure insanity.
It was. But speaking from what I've seen, but speaking of Bravo, did you hear the story about Whitney Rose splitting up with her man?
Just
What's
and
going
on the
on with
same
that?
week that they give us the Angie Katsunavis, Sean Trujillo separation, and I feel like was Whitney bummed. She was like, "Oh my God, I didn't get the jump. I was supposed to announce first." Like you're getting the spillover. I mean, but
Yep.
some people were saying, "Is Whitney doing this as some sort of like attention grabbing behavior?" I would like to
Aha.
think that she wouldn't, but like I mean, what are the odds that everybody is separating and they're announcing in the same week?
It's kind of crazy. And I'm not gonna lie, I expected Meredith Marks before everybody, so this news is surprising to me. Um, but Whitney and Justin, I kind of seen it coming though. Because I
Did
mean
you
on
see it
the
coming? I mean, like, I feel like, I don't know. For part of me, I'm such an idiot with these things because I always feel like, no, they're great. They're going to be fine. And I never know what the reality is based on what they show us and then behind it. And we hear so many rumors and, or as Meredith says, the rumors and the nastiness, like, so I don't know ever what to believe. But I mean, obviously, we're going to see this play out on season 7.
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited to see it, but I like so they were struggling financially, I guess, and having like a bunch of issues centered around that, which is what we kind of seen last season. Like, I mean, they touched on it here and there, but that I guess that's why I wasn't surprised by it. Angie
Yeah.
K, that came out of the blue. Like, I know they were having like little issues, and they deal with their issues behind the scenes. I feel more so than any of the other housewives on Salt Lake City, but that was very surprising to me.
I was wondering if they were going to pick back up cameras, but then I read, because they finished filming season 7 like late May. And then I guess in the People magazine article about it, it said that they've been separated for a couple of months, but they just publicly announced. So if that's the case, then maybe that is going to be a storyline that they've already filmed.
I wonder, huh? Angie K and Whitney Rose, and I feel like then it has to be one more person.
Well, Mary Cosby, her husband lives in Vegas, and obviously she's going to be dealing, with the passing of her son. Meredith
Mm.
Marks, obviously, when she first came on the show, she was pretty much separated from Seth. Lisa Barlow had a tough season with John Barlow last season, but then Lisa Barlow already made like an Instagram post today going, "Oh my God, look how strong we are!" Like, kind of shoving it in their face. And so I think it's funny that like Meredith and Lisa both kind of made posts gloating about the fact that they're still with their husbands. So I
Mhm.
mean, and Bronwyn's separated or getting divorced from Todd, and she had that modelly boyfriend, but she's no longer with that modelly boyfriend.
Bronwyn is getting a divorce from Todd.
Yeah. Where have you been, man? Yes. I
I've been
mean,
working. Like, I don't know. That's very surprising. So we do have a third
yeah,
person.
it's gonna
I
be
feel
like
like I knew about it, but maybe I just forgot because I didn't care that much. But
no,
now
and
I
this
do.
this is huge. Everybody,
Yeah.
everybody. That's I mean, everybody, all the single ladies, because Heather Gay is still single, and everybody's going to be single on that show eventually.
Well, this should be a very interesting season if that's the case.
I mean, I think so. I mean, I hate to put a lot of hopes on a show, but I mean, I really have enjoyed the last 2 seasons of Salt Lake. And if you
Yeah.
compare it to like Real Housewives of Orange County, it's not even in the same league. Like Salt Lake, Atlanta, and Rhode Island right now are, my top 3 favorite housewives of shows of the last year.
So maybe we could put Bronwyn, Whitney, and Angie K on that love show that they
Oh,
had
Love
for
Hotel.
like,
Oh
yeah,
my
Love
God.
Hotel.
You could just do Love Hotel Salt Lake edition.
Yeah, just Salt Lake edition. I was just about to say because they have three single people, and maybe if they want to throw like somebody else out there, like this random,
That's actually kind of genius because you could then, if you wanted to, you could have like Heather Gay host it and you could have Mary Cosby come in and do like a little moment on the
Yeah.
show. I mean, or like kind of tell her opinions of what she thinks of all the guys.
And maybe throw Kelly on there from Housewives of Atlanta and you have a show.
Yeah, Kelly.
I mean,
Kelly
if
will
she's
be
not,
Kelly will be working the event.
yeah, dang, oh, well,
She needs the work.
I could see that. I believe she does. So you've been keeping up with Housewives of Atlanta. I want to ask, what are your thoughts on this season overall?
I really like this season overall. I think the casting of I mean, I think Pinky and K Michelle, I mean, I really have enjoyed I mean, K Michelle I've enjoyed more, but I think they both kind of, very
Hmm.
much fit in with that group. I still think you're gonna see Nene come back next season. But I think this group itself is pretty great. I mean, I thought the season before was good. I thought this is an even better season. And you have the Shamea and Porsha thing, playing out obviously. And I know I mean, I was watching Shamea on Watch What Happens Live this week, and I feel like she can't win for losing, man. She just
Yeah,
but at the same time, Portia acts like Portia had that scene this week where she was talking to her sister on the phone and she was like, "Oh, you know, like I mean, if she wanted to be my friend, we could have done it here." And I'm like, "No, you would not have allowed that. You were not giving any sort of
yeah,
open signals into like reworking that friendship at all. So don't act like you would have." But then Shamia went wild with, the parents, which obviously it was very déclassé to say that, your parent was trying to
that
sleep
was
with my
weird.
parent. I mean, that was insane.
Yeah,
But I think Shamia is desperate. I mean, I truly think it's like that when you realize you've screwed up a friendship so badly that you kind of not didn't take for granted, but you were kind of thinking that, well, we'll have to become friends again. We're on the same show. And now I think she really knows that Portia does not need her, does not want her, doesn't really. I always say Portia comes off indifferent to it. It's not even that she's angry, she's just indifferent. And that probably hurts the most. And so I feel really bad for Shamia because Portia will always act like I don't know. Portia sometimes, and I say this gently because I love Portia. She acts like she's a victim, and I'm like, you're not a victim because you're one of the strongest people on the show, and you know you're one of the strongest people on the show. So like, I don't know. I feel like secretly behind closed doors, she laughs at all of this stuff.
you think she finds humor out of it? I could say the same because even when she was sitting down on the phone with Lauren, and she was just saying how open she was during this whole trip, and how she was just like,
Yeah,
I guess being a good sport about it and be, being a peacemaker with Shamia. From what it seems, that's what she was insinuating. Like she just didn't want to start any drama, and she was coexisting with Shamia.
yeah.
But I just don't believe that. I just don't believe that you wanted anything to do with her.
Yeah, exactly.
Um,
And I think she's such a popular, deservedly popular character that I feel like her just coexisting but not interacting at all. I think she kind of was like, well, I'll be able to push Shamia off the show. I just won't
yeah,
interact. I'll be around, but I won't interact. And I feel like eventually that would really frustrate the producers. And I think Shamia's not that this is a trap, but I think Shamia is doing exactly what Portia expected her to do, and she's kind of flailing, and
yeah.
like people like Kelly are benefiting from it because Shamia is giving Kelly like, hey, come stay at my townhouse, come do this, come do that, and I'm sure
So
there
many
is real
scenes.
friendship. Yeah, but she
Yeah,
needs people in her corner right now.
I can agree with that. I can agree with that. Um, but the whole Portia and Shamia thing, I really wish that they could have worked it out
Me
because
too.
from what it seemed, it wasn't that bad prior to this whole like parent situation. But once she said that, maybe that gave, like you said, that gave Portia enough to be like, okay,
Yeah.
well, now I don't ever have to talk to her again. And now you guys have a solid reason on why I'm not talking to her. Before, it wasn't really, I'd say, a huge reason. So production could have probably easily made that like a,
Well, I mean, I talked to Kendrick last week about this, and I was truly
mhm.
wondering because we'll never know. Was like her bringing that up at the table. I know that came from her, but was there also like encouragement from production for her to do that. Like, Shamea, you know what you should like remember how you were telling me about the parent thing? I think tonight you might want to talk about that at the table. Like, I know sometimes they're encouraged to be like, oh, remember, you have to, remember this and that. And I sometimes wonder, like, I know that came from Shamea, but I sometimes wonder if there was encouragement from production to do things
I
like
would
that.
hope not because that's a bit much. Like if this was about maybe her marriage or anything else, I'd say go for it. But to bring your parents into it, that's a bit extreme.
Yeah. I still find it funny that like leaving not this episode but the episode before at the very end when she did that and she was leaving and Kelly followed her and she was like
Mhm.
bitching about Portia. Kelly kind of kept her mouth shut. Like Kelly was supporting
Yeah,
her friend, but she didn't say anything bad about Portia. And then at the top of this episode, Kelly was a little, where they went back to the hotel, but then they decided to still go out clubbing afterwards. But then it was like they went clubbing and Portia immediately leaves. And so, I think that was probably very like that scared Shamea. Like, wow, people are leaving now because I'm here.
that was sad. I felt bad for her in that moment. And prior to her saying all this stuff about Portia's mom, I actually had a soft spot for Shamia, contrary to popular belief, because I know I'll get on here and I'll say certain things about her, like maybe the Mohawk thing. Like I know me and Kendrick dragged the fuck out of her for that. But aside from that, I really felt bad for her because, like you said, I feel like she can't win for losing. Like every time she's on the show, somebody has a problem with her, something starts. But then again, you say stuff like this, and this is the prime example of what I'm always talking about with her. I think she just does things and she doesn't really think about what the outcome is going to be. Like in this
Yeah.
scenario, I didn't think that she really thought things through because if you really understood how the show works, which granted this is her what second season,
Yeah.
so I think she's still learning, but you have to
She's still learning, but I'm
understand.
scared that she's not going to get a third season. I'm scared.
Yeah,
I'm scared that it's going to be untenable at a certain point where not that Portia will ever say it's me or her, but I think that obviously more people, I mean, way more people support Portia than Shamea. And if you had to choose between the two, you're always going to go with Portia because
yeah.
she's an OG star. And I think, I think she handles herself that way as well, like even
Hmm.
in this episode when she bought Phaedra the title, for her birthday. Like, she's out there, she's picking up tabs, she's doing this. Like Portia seems very well to do. She seems like a star. And I think that eats at Shamea as well because Shamia's never going to be invited to be on the Traders.
You don't think so?
I know so.
I'm
I
saying
don't
that
think
as if I'm not.
yeah,
If
okay. I
I
was like, there's no way, no way. And I
no,
hate that because I think that kind of stuff eats at her. Like, and on Watch What Happens Live, she was trying to throw out jokes and they weren't landing. And Andy was doing his thing where he was like, "Oh," but you could even tell Andy
oh
was like, "I don't know what you're talking."
gosh,
I mean, it wasn't embarrassing, but it was, it's like, I don't know. It's just like sometimes she has just like this little reeking of desperation.
cringe.
I love
Almost.
I love cringe. I act a lot out of cringe myself, but sometimes you're just like, no, man. I think you have a lot more power if you just chilled out. You'd have a lot more power than you think.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, word of advice, you got to hear from Ryan. Like, I mean, so hopefully she takes what you
No, but
said
I
into
really like her. That's
consideration.
the I like her. I like all of these. Hell, I even like Kelly sometimes. But it
I
is
do, but I feel you know what the difference is between Shami and Kelly. I think Kelly has a good sense of who she is, and it's very consistent. With Shamia, she goes between being saying something so outlandish and then apologizing for it, and then being like,
yeah
everybody hates me.
yeah
So
yeah.
it's a cycle that never ends with her,
You're right.
and then
That's a
she
good
just
point.
keeps going back. So I don't really know who she is. Is that who she is?
I don't know. I mean, the Kelly. I mean, she accepts the $70,000 teeth that guy bought her teeth,
Yeah.
and we're pointing out it's like 70 grand every time she talks about it. And sometimes I'm like, dude, it's like these are all powerful, strong women, but at the end of the day, it's like we do need men to fund our lifestyle. And Portia's the only one right now that I feel like Porsha, Cynthia, Phaedra, obviously, these are women that are taking care of business their own way. And then, like, I feel like Kelly is dependent on the kindness of strangers. Shamea is always pointing out, Gerald is taking care of her. And I don't know. Sometimes it's like it sometimes feels like that undercuts the argument when you're then like depending on, like, or you're even accepting $70,000 teeth. Or is that a sign of strength where you're like, haha, we made men pay for this?
I don't know. I thought it was a sign of strength
I mean, I guess it
for
could be read
her.
that way. Yeah.
I
Yep.
mean, with all that she's dealing with too, because she's going through the divorce, she can't really show her kids on the show. It's just like all the stuff behind the scenes. So seeing that she got $70,000 put in her mouth, what's the
But what
you know?
else does she have to put in her mouth for that? Like, I mean, there's a lot that could, and Drew Sidora, Drew obviously is going through a lot of financial difficulty if you pay
Yeah.
attention to those court documents. And, she has that friend, her special friend Black, who she's like, no, you're just my friend. But he's also, sending her gifts, sending her flowers, all of those things. But we haven't heard Black mentioned in a bunch of episodes now. So I don't know what's going on with their relationship.
Oh, you know what? That you have a point with that. Because I haven't heard, I kind of forgot about Black until you brought that up. Because
Yeah, he
they
was
got
in a
over
bunch of
that,
episodes at the first half of the
yeah, the
season.
first half, and then they kind of let it go.
Yeah. And Phaedra, and see, the Phaedra's great because Cynthia's like, no, Phaedra gets around and stuff, but Phaedra now is so OG that she doesn't have to share that part of her life. She's so good, she's so good at being quirky and herself and like, yeah, we'll take a cemetery funeral tour with you, and it's like Phaedra is in a nice little avenue for herself, but like I want to know how Phaedra gets freaky deaky. Like, remember that? I don't know if you watched that season of Ultimate Girls Trip when about meeting that guy, and he made her put a yoni egg in her private parts and like walk around with it. I'm trying to remember the story. It was a crazy story like that.
I think I remember something like that. Wasn't that the season with Tamara?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. When they
Yes.
stayed at Bluestone Manor.
At Dorinda's. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. I do remember bits and pieces of it. I do know with Phaedra though, there are certain things that they don't show. Like even her interaction with Apollo's son and how they're all really close. I didn't even know Apollo had a son.
yeah. And she brought him to that basketball game a couple episodes ago.
Hmm. So they showed that, but they just don't show any of
Yeah,
the other stuff. Yeah, maybe. I mean, maybe like you said, they just feel like Phaedra just brings enough because she is entertaining on this trip.
yeah. She's
Like
funny as
I'm
hell.
entertained.
And she's helping Kelly with her divorce. She stepped in there as a lawyer on that. We
Hmm.
found she plays the flute. She's a Reiki healer. We had that whole thing at her house. She does provide a lot and she just makes me laugh.
She's so many things.
Yeah.
Phaedra is actually very powerful. So I want to ask for next season, Housewives of Atlanta, who do you see on the chopping board?
I'm really scared Shamea's on the chopping block. I think Pinky, I don't know. I'm curious if Pinky will take herself out. Or if she's like, yeah, I'm really digging this. I can't really tell. K Michelle's one that I think is really enjoying it sometimes, but then other times I think she
Hmm.
seems thrown by all of it. Like she's K Michelle's like such a question mark. She's a mystery to me because sometimes I think she's having a blast and sometimes I think she's really getting messed up by this, even though she's done reality TV in the past. And I think, obviously with her dentist husband and all of these things, but there's like, I don't know, it's mysterious. Like I'm still so confused with some of the things that she talked about early on in the season and like who she's friends with, who she's still weird with, but I find her entertaining as hell and I hope she continues to do this show because I can feel she'll only grow with time.
I think so as well. And then that's the thing with her. I think that she's just going through so much behind the scenes where it kind of spills out. We're seeing on camera with even her talking about her near death experience on this recent episode, and it just gets so intense. And then I just feel bad.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's,
I mean,
it's
And but there's another person where I'm like, God, what a strong woman. What a strong woman
Mhm.
that I some of the times I'm like, oh, I figure she would just laugh that off. Yet she is so deeply concerned.
Yeah,
You know, like when she thought Drew and Portia and or Drew, Phaedra, and Portia were like plotting against her. I'm like, at the end of the day, like I mean, some of those ladies you're stronger than already. Why are you this concerned about? Like, I don't know. I'm still very confused with that storyline from earlier in the season. It never really got cleared up.
that's what I was just talking about earlier with a friend. Like, what happened with that whole thing? Because they just forgave each other and moved on.
Yeah, we haven't heard about it. So I'm like, I don't know. I was like, were you you sounded deeply concerned, but now you're not deeply concerned. And then I think Angela Oakley has definitely had a secured spot for next season. I love her. I think she's funny as hell. I love when she gets
Mhm.
into sparring matches. I think she's so good in those situations. Um, so I love her, but I mean, I think they have a really good crew. I do think we will get Nene Leakes back sooner rather than later, though.
You think, Nina? I mean,
I
I'm
really
hopeful
do.
for it, but I don't want to say it because as soon as you say it, then people will jump up and they're like, "She's not going to be back on the show." Like,
I really because she's gonna be on this next, like, Roaring 20s Ultimate Girls Trip for an appearance, and that's
Mhm.
huge because she was never supposed to be back on Bravo, and I heard that went well, and I think the audience kinda demands it, and I think they'll try it out.
I'm hopeful for it, but I do think that Shamea deserves one more season, just out of hate to say it like that, but out of pity. Because I just think this season she's made so many mistakes, and I would love for her to learn from them and just apply them next season, apply all the things that she's learned next season. Maybe not make things right with Portia because I just feel like at this point that's impossible. Maybe
Y
like I don't know.
Well, it's gonna be really interesting to watch the reunion, to see
Yeah,
with Andy there, to see what can be how they can make heads or tails out of their relationship at this point without anybody running off.
and then the falling out with K Michelle too because they are
Yeah,
just not on good
yeah.
terms at all. Ugh.
Yeah, and Cynthia's got a nice little gig as a friend of. If she'll take friend of again, I mean, I think Cynthia adds a lot. I think Cynthia has added a lot this season as a friend of.
Yeah, because I was just about to say I can't imagine Nene as a friend of.
No,
That's not gonna work.
no, but I think Cynthia really enjoys being a friend of. I think she likes the good press she got from being a good friend of, and pretty much they used her as much as a regular series cast member. So, what I my understanding is that they usually get paid by the days they work, and so
Mhm.
sometimes friends will only work like 4 times a season, but Cynthia's working like every episode. So I think she's making some decent money from it as well.
I could see that. Do you think that K Michelle will return to Housewives? I definitely think she's gonna be invited back, but do you think she's gonna return on her own?
I think so. I think she got enough I think she got a new audience from this. You know, I
Mhm.
was not familiar with who K Michelle was before this, and now I consider myself a fan. And, you know, I wanna check, when she has a new album out, I wanna check that out. Like, and so I think
Wow.
that is really why you wanna do these things. You just get, she mentioned this about, white women at an airport, like Phaedra. Everybody knows Phaedra because she was on The Traitors. She has all these white lady fans because they were, like, oh my God, you're on The Traitors. And, it's like, I think Kay Michelle is going to get a lot of that as well. And it's like a different audience. And I would think that's enjoyable to be able to present your other talents to a new fan base.
I could see. I didn't know you were this much of a K Michelle fan.
Well,
That's
but I'm a new fan because I was not
yeah,
aware of Love. I mean, I knew of Love and Hip Hop, but I never watched Love and Hip Hop. So Kaya was taking me through all of this. I mean, I didn't know she used to date Idris Elba. I didn't know like
yeah.
I'm like, how did I miss this person? And I just love the way she talks. I love her. I mean, I love like she loves Jack Daniels. I love that she married the dentist. I mean, like and at the same time, she's a mystery, which means like, oh man, there's so many things yet to be discovered for me as a viewer about her.
You know what? And I was just about to tell you about Love and Hip Hop. I feel like you should definitely add that to your list at some point because if you think this is crazy, the first few seasons of Atlanta,
But see,
Love
that's
and
what I
Hip
was
Hop,
telling Kaya. If she's
insane.
already done this, how is she giving a shit about what these ladies? If she came from Love and Hip Hop and already knows how reality TV works, how is she going to say any of this stuff matters to her about ladies talking smack?
I feel like also to be fair though, it's been a long time for her. Like that was years ago. I think I was a senior in high school, maybe even a junior
Oh,
when
okay. So
yeah.
it's been a while since she's been on
It's been a
reality.
good amount of time because she
Okay.
did that, and then like maybe a few years later, I think she got on another Love and Hip Hop franchise, and then she stayed on there for maybe a season or
Yeah.
possibly two. I didn't really keep up with that because that was Love and Hip Hop Hollywood, I believe, and I wasn't really into Hollywood. But yeah, it's been a while. The last thing that she was on that I remember her on was that it's a love matchmaking show on
Yeah.
Peacock, and it was with Lisa
Oh,
Ray and Delicious from Flavor of Love.
was that Queen's Court?
Yes, Queen's Court.
Okay. Got it. Got it. Got it.
hmm And she was really interesting on there. I knew she wasn't going to choose any of those men. I kind of felt like it just wasn't going to happen. So I wasn't. I was also not surprised to see her married to somebody completely different.
God. Yeah, no, I mean, I don't know when we'll hear about like I don't know when they shoot the next one, and I'm so curious where we
Yeah.
go from here, and when we'll find out new information.
And how are you feeling about OC?
I don't like it so far. I think it's really
Oh my
bland.
gosh. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I hope it gets better. You know,
I feel
I
bad
mean,
though. It's like that's the thing though. Everybody, the seasons that everybody hates, I'm like, oh, this is so good.
yeah.
I don't know.
You're liking it?
Yeah, I'm enjoying it so far.
I
Like,
mean, but that's what's great is that we can all have like these differing opinions and
yeah,
stuff, and or maybe we're all looking. I think it takes like what's going on in our lives right now depends on how we view these shows, and I don't know. I feel like
that's true.
I've been there, I've done that, I've seen these scenes with Tamra before. Like I mean, but we're only 2 episodes in, so this could like completely change.
Okay, and are you watching Next Gen?
I am. I love it.
Okay, you love Next Gen.
Yeah.
All right. So these are good things. These are good things. I'm asking everybody about Next Gen. I watched last season, and this season has been pretty good to me.
Yeah. I mean, it's really I mean, it's just like, it's like I keep saying like they're young kids. So I just keep thinking, oh, they'll figure it out. Like, oh, it'll be fine. Like, there's not like, it's
Yeah.
not a high pressure situation show for me to watch. And so I kind of laugh at how serious they take everything. And I look at it as like a comedic show more than anything else. And I think, I think there's a lot going on and I think it's very funny. The, um, I think they have got a good cast. I mean, I think the weakest people on the cast are like Brooks and Gia. And I don't dislike them, but I think they're the ones that like, Brooks has, I think, a hard time in front of the camera because he's really shy. But I think there's so many other things to look at that I'm kind of consistently entertained.
Yes. You know what? I can agree with, especially with Riley. Riley and I would say Ariana is giving me a whole new perspective of who they are as adults now. And I
Uh-huh.
don't know. I'm enjoying it. Um I feel like I've asked you everything about Bravo, like that I could possibly think of. Because aside from that, guys, there's nothing really going on. We'll probably make an episode recapping OC. And hopefully I'm not the only one who enjoys it when I
Yeah.
do talk.
No, but I mean, by the way, but even if I dislike a show, I still think it's fun to talk about, you
Yeah.
know?
I think you're gonna start liking it though. I feel like more stuff is gonna happen. If Tamara shuts the hell up, everybody will be fine.
Yeah.
Because it's the same thing with her. But I'm really thinking that this new lady that they have on is really gonna mix up the vibe and bring us something different.
I think it's I like Carmela. I do. I mean,
Mhm.
I think she's got some interesting relationship things happening. And I just hope I just hope she's not on a dud season. Like it's a good
Yeah.
cast member, good new cast member on a dud season. You need good people around that. But I really do actually like her so far. I'm really interested to learn more about her. Um, but yeah, I mean, I just feel like it's Groundhog's Day. I've seen all of these things before.